to have our special guest, Siha Top, all the way from Seattle. He's now in Washington. Siha and I, can I tell you a story how I met Siha? Last year, I think about January last year, I just ranked up to 5A. I was still kind of lost, like, oh, I don't know how to place my sales. And I watched a YouTube interview of Siha. I was like, wow, who is this guy? And then I watched his interview about 3 times, like so many golden nuggets. And he even said, if you don't know how to place your sale, please message me, find me on Facebook, message me. I will schedule a call with you. I was like, wow, such an amazing guy. He has such a big heart. He's not my leader. He's not my sponsor. He's not my upline. And he has such a big heart to help all the Kangen distributors to become successful. I was just like so warm, and I didn't expect him to respond, and he did, and he did. And thanks to Siha, I didn't make the mistake. I almost make a big mistake on how to place my sales. And I'm really grateful that Siha agreed to take his precious time to show us some golden nuggets, how to shortcut or how to be successful in Enagic business. Siha's been in the industry for 14 years. And Siha, another thing I'd like to tell you, Siha enrolled me to attend Enagic Global Convention in September this year. I'm so happy that I finally met Siha in person in San Diego this year. So yeah, Siha.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
The most common question I get to, people ask me is, I don't know how to sell. Is this business real? Is this real? Can is this too good to be true? Are we in a too good to be true business? How many people actually achieve that rank and make that kind of money?
It's a scam. We all know it's a scam. Look on YouTube. Everybody tells us it's a scam. So you're telling me this 48-year-old global company with operations around the world, that's debt-free, that has a US patent on the pay plan is false and is a scam. Come on, people. So we should address that. And part of this training, I want you guys involved with me. I want your mind with me. Whether you're on camera or not on camera, I love seeing your beautiful faces. That's how we connect, eyeball to eyeball, even though it's virtually. First of all, I want to first thank you all for being here. I want truly, from the bottom of my heart. To me, the most valuable commodity is time, not gold, not platinum. It's time. And here you are taking this moment to be with me and with Lina. It's just, I want to thank you so much for that. I want to thank Lina for putting this together and getting everybody here. I believe in our future. I believe in, I'm going to say it, I'm a spiritual man. I might not go to church or anything like that, but I'm a spiritual man. I believe in co-creating together. I didn't get here by myself, and I don't think I'm going forward by myself. I don't want to go by myself. So I want to thank you for helping me co-create, our brighter future together. So going forward, just like I shared on my videos on YouTube and I shared with Lina before I even met Lina, is that I truly want to help you. My goal, my job, my obligation is to help you. The more I help you, the more I help our company, Enagic. Enagic has blessed my life in more ways than one, in all ways. When I got introduced to Enagic 14 years ago, long story short, I was severely stressed. I was unhealthy to the point where I was coughing. My lifestyle wasn't the best of healthy lifestyle. I was a mortgage broker, real estate agent here in Washington State, in the US. I was licensed in nine states. I started at the age of 19. I was supposed to retire at 39. But when I turned 39, it was 2008. If you guys remember the recession that happened in the US, well, they felt that I helped cause it. I was the epicenter because I was the mortgage broker and I was the real estate agent and everything else. So I lost everything. I lost, who's ever been broke, like no money, like negative? That was me in 2008. Nowhere to, I didn't know where up was. I didn't know where down was. I didn't know left, right, north, south, east, west. I had no direction because I lost all hope, because I lost my financial income because of the recession, a huge crash. And I thought I did everything right, going to school, getting licensed, getting audited, starting my family, but having our home, being successful in my business where my wife didn't have to work. I thought I did everything right. Why was this happening to me? And I had one of those Jesus moments where I got on my knee and I prayed to myself, because I was like, God, what did I do wrong? What did I do to deserve this? But God knows more than I knew. And God knew that I would never have left my industry, never would have left what I went to school for and was successful at here in the US. I would have never left it for a multi-level marketing, for, direct sales, for whatever this was. I would have never left it. But because my health was improvised and my wealth was lost, I had to reinvent myself. I got introduced to the Kangen Water by Wade Lightheart. Do you guys know who Wade Lightheart is? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'll share a little. Wade, I was introduced to Wade because Wade was a partner in a holistic clinic. And I couldn't even pronounce the word. I didn't even know what it meant in 2008. And I went to Wade to help him, to get his help, because I was coughing up blood. I had severe acid reflux. That's the truth. My medical records say it. My doctor say it. The doctor even prescribed me, inhaler, Z-Pack, steroids, antibiotics, you name it. For 7 years, I tried everything. Nothing worked. And it just got worse to where the point I was coughing up blood. I thought it was the C word. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to tell my wife because I want to freak her out. The doctor sent me to a throat specialist where they stuck a camera down my throat and said, you have severe burning of the esophagus. And so that's why you're coughing up the blood. It's burning up your esophagus. It's eating into the sidewalls. And I said, well, what do I have to do to the doctor? He says, well, you got to take Zantac for the rest of your life, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Well, I'm thinking $3 a pill, that's $9, that's $9 a day. That's, times that by 30, that's $270. Those things went really quick through my head because it was a money thing. And here I had no money and I had no insurance. And I was like, but quickly it went from, it wasn't even the money. It was the fact that I didn't want to put anything, I didn't want to take chemicals or put chemicals in my life, in my body for the rest of my life. That I came to that reality like instantly. And so instead of going to pick up the prescription, I was referred to Wade at the holistic clinic. The first question walking through the Wade's holistic clinic, it was late in the evening, like 7 o'clock, your time about right now. And he was closing. He was closed. I was like the last client in a sense, I came after hours. And Wade says, I introduced myself. I said, hi, I'm Siha, you're Wade. You came highly recommended for health. I've got all these issues. I know exactly what it is. It's acid reflux, just give me your lotion, potion, mushrooms, do your voodoo magic on the water, whatever you're going to do. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to be out of the way. He's like, hold on, back up, buddy. Hold on. What kind of water are you drinking? And what do you mean? What kind of water I'm drinking? Water's water. He says, no, seriously, what kind of water are you drinking? I said, seriously? Here in America, we have Costco. It's a big warehouse. I don't know if you have it in England or around the world, but it is one of those companies around the world. But Costco, everything's higher quality and really affordable, really cheap. So I'm like, I drink Costco water. Everybody drinks Costco water. It's $2.80 a pack of water. He's like, well, that's not the right water. And he went into telling me why it wasn't the right water. In the plastic bottles, leaching, he showed me the acid and alkaline tests. He just did a quick, 45-minute presentation. And if you talk to Wade today, he'll tell you it was the worst demonstration he ever did. If you talk to Siha, like you are with me today, it was the best demonstration I have ever seen. So it doesn't matter what you're saying, as long as you're saying something about the water, this amazing water that you're drinking, right? So I drank it. And you know what? It's 14 years and I don't have that cough and I don't cough up blood. I know our company says don't do any health claims. I'm not claiming anything. This is a fact. You want to see my medical records? I'll show you. So just be cognizant of that. This is my story, nobody else's story. And I'm not going to tell you that the water does all these crazy magical things, because it does for so many people. And I'm so glad that it does do that for them and you and all your friends and family. But you know what? We don't have to, say, we don't have to use that as a sales tool to sell our product. We just say, look, I got awesome benefits. Here's what I personally got, and keep it at that. Or, I heard this person, but don't put any facts. So anyways, that's how I got introduced to water. And like I said, this is 2008. So my health was jeopardized and I had no wealth. I'm going to shorten the story. I quickly saw the opportunities of Enagic and Kangen Water. First of all, if I was to reinvent myself after 20 years of being successful in the mortgage brokerage business in the US, finance business, development business, I said the next company or the next product that I go to would have to be a product that everybody could buy, everybody could utilize. Well, in my business in real estate, you had to be 25 to 65, usually the age group. You had to have money, you had to have a job, you had to have good credit, and you had to want to buy a house, you had to want to refinance. They didn't want to have to use me. That's my niche, right? Who drinks water?
Everybody.
Right? From the first day that you're born until the last day that you breathe your last air, you need the best quality of water. So that's the product that we're promoting. That's the product that, and I'm happy to promote. This is your health. This is the best water out there, right? Then I wanted an online business. I wanted to be the Amazon. Remember, this is 2008. Amazon was coming up and coming. All these internet online sales were coming. I did a lot of my loans online, and real estate online. So I said the next business had to be online, and it had to be global. So I wanted it online so that customers can find us 24/7. I wanted it to be global so that we could travel around the world or conduct business around the world without a visa, without continuing education. I wanted a borderless business. Like I said, I'm only 30 minutes away from the Canadian border. So I have a lot of Canadian clients. Matter of fact, I was telling Lina, 30% of my overall business is in Canada. 50% is in the US and 20% is the rest of the world. So I got this online business, borderless business, 24-hour business, business that can sell to everybody, and not just humans, dogs, cats, animals, horses, you name it, veterinarians, and the people that are in farming and grow ops. I have a lot of clients who have medicinal marijuana grow ops that utilize our technology. So see where we're going with this? I want to open up your mind to all the possibilities that our product that you're selling. What is selling? Selling is trading, in my opinion. My definition, selling is the trade of a product or a service for the exchange of a monetary value that somebody set. And it's the buyer who sets that. If it has value and you can bring value to it, then a buyer is going to pay for that. I know that in real estate, a house is only worth what a buyer is willing to pay for it. A house is only worth what the neighbor's house is worth and the neighborhood is worth. So what is our product? What is our Kangen water machine worth? What is our Ukon worth? What is our Nespa worth? What is our products worth? We have to bring the value and then let the prospect or buyer say, yeah, it's worth. When I bought, we didn't have the K8 when I started 14 years ago. We had the SD501. When I bought the SD501, it was $4,000 US. It's still $4,000. I didn't have any money, but was it worth it? Absolutely. I was coughing for 7 years and now I'm not. Absolutely, because the doctor said you're going to have to take medication for the rest of your life, to treat this. How much is that going to cost me for the rest of my life? So not only was I able to save money and invest in my health, more importantly, I truly believe this, more importantly than my health, my children's health, my wife's health, my mom and dad's health. That was more important than my health. Absolutely. But with that said, there's a caveat. With that said, I knew that I had to become healthier and be the product of the product so that I can take care of my family, because I couldn't do it if I was sick. I couldn't do it if I was representing. Okay. So that's my story. I want you guys to think of your story, because every single day we are all writing a book of our life. Every single day you're writing a page of your life, and then it becomes a chapter. What chapter are you on? You can change the way that your book reads. and somebody's going to read your book sometime or watch your video like Lina watched mine. It changed somebody's life. Okay. So think, what is your story? I just shared with you my story, and everybody on this call has one. And I can't wait to meet you personally one-on-one, or if we have time to do, to have a Zoom one-on-one, or we meet at a convention, we have coffee together, whatever. I want to know your story, because it's absolutely amazing. I'm sure it is amazing because we all have our own stories, So that's my story. I want to know your story. I want you guys to be clear going into the future. If you're not clear and going into the future, we can start with today. We can be clearer today. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you should have your goals, you should have your vision, and you should have your purpose. I am goal driven. I have visions, and I'm purpose driven. Okay. So I'm very clear. It's your GPS. It's the GPS that you have to set for yourself. I can't set that for you. I don't know if you want to make money for yourself, for your family, to buy a new car, to put your kids through college, to, buy a home for your mom and dad, or a car for mom. I don't know what that is. Okay. You need to know that is. If you have a pen and paper, jot a few things that you really want. Do you want security in cash flow? Because that was one of my goals. And my vision was I wanted security. I wanted to derive an income no matter what the market was, because I'd been through a situation with the recession of 2008 here in the US where I lost everything. And I said, never, ever again am I going to put my family or myself in that position. So that was a goal, and that was a vision that I wanted. The passion was to build a global business and to help people around the world. So that was mine. What's your passion? What gets your butt out of bed? I'll tell you exactly what gets my butt out of bed. Is your amazing success stories, is meeting you, is knowing that our company Enagic is going to be here 100+ years from now. That's my passion. And if I'm not doing that to help you, Mother Earth, my company, or the future, going forward, it won't get me out of bed. That's just me. I just know it won't get me out of bed. So I want you guys to write down, what's your goals? Brainstorm. What's your vision? When I say what's your vision, where do you see yourself if you were working diligently with this business, whether it be 2 hours a week or 20 hours a week or 80 hours a week? I don't care what it is. It's you. Let's be realistic. I'm a realistic optimist. So if you're working say you're going to work this business seriously for the whatever allotted hours that you put in per day, per week, per month, where do you see yourself in 6 months? Where do you see yourself in 1 year? Where do you see yourself in 3 years and 5 years and 10 years? You have to visualize where that is, because that's going to be part of your passion. That is your vision, and that is your goal. Okay, so you need to have that. I can't give it to you. I can only share with you what my vision, what my goals were. And I was blessed enough to have Enagic fall in my lap, where one of my visions was my children were just in elementary school, kindergarten, and now they're in high school. But I wanted to be with my children through all their sporting events, because I love sports, all their talent shows, because they played the piano or did the dancing, whatever they did. I wanted to be there. You know what was so cool about that? Going to those children events, that's what drove me. That was my passion. I was like the only dad. Sometimes I was the only parent. Sometimes I was able to sign up to be the chaperone to their field trip or to their school dances. It was so cute because I got to live that moment with my child. So I'm just painting you the picture that I had in my mind, and it worked. What's your picture in your mind? What do you want to have come true? Because we can do it with this business. When I started, I'm just like you guys. I didn't know, pretty much, where do I start? What do I do? And is this what's the payout? Well, for me, I needed to know that I wasn't going to waste my time with a project, waste my time with, a business venture. I don't have time to waste. I promote and I teach the sooner that you have your exit strategy or your retirement strategy, the better in life. Okay. What I mean by that is exit strategy. You're going to school. And then you're going to get a job, but how are you going to retire? How are you going to make the big bucks? Or if you're not going to school, you're working at your job. How are you going to retire? If you own a business, can you sell it? Well, there's a business here in the US called Blockbuster. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's a CD, DVD rental place. Blockbuster's no longer. They couldn't even sell it. Okay. So whatever business that you're in, think of how are you going to exit. If you own a restaurant, my in-laws own restaurants. I see how hard they work. And I see what, during the pandemic, how even more stressful now with people don't wanting to work, even more stressful, but they can't even sell it to retire. Because a lot of business owners, that's what they do to retire. I really want you to think about the future. How are you going to retire? Are you going to sell your business? Are you going to work in the Enagic business? We're working this hard. Say this is the floor. We're working this hard, up in the sky. Your money, you're on the ground level. But as time goes on, your money goes up and your workload goes down. To where sooner or later, it'll cross to where you're working less and your money continues to go up. Do you need to retire? That's your exit strategy, because exit means exit from work, that's your exit strategy, but do you need to sell it? No. And you continue to make more and more as time goes on. All you need to do is be there and support and grow. And how fun is that? You're getting paid to play. That's what I say. I'm getting paid to play. This is my play, So I want you guys to have the right mindset. Maybe some of you were on the call before we started, and I shared with you guys that I listened to my cell phone in the shower, in the YouTube or podcast. In the morning, I put my mind in a place to where it's going to inspire me. It's going to educate me. It's going to grow me. What do I mean by that? People pay hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for personal training. Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, whoever your trainer is that you want to pay, that's awesome. But even before you do that, it's all free on YouTube. Whether it's Les Brown, whoever, Jim Rohn, whoever it is. For me, I have a list on my phone of all my mentors. I call them my mentors, right? Who taught me, men, women, different categories. Wayne Dyer, who's more spiritual than in sales, I make a list of them and I rotate. What do I feel? It's like a food. For me, I can't just eat one type of food every single day. I'm craving this, I'm craving that. Well, your mind is the same thing. What are you craving? So your mentor, you should have that list and you should go, you know what, today I need a kick in the butt. So Gary Vaynerchuk, he's all about the F word, F bombs, because he's, gets in your face and says, hey, you are a loser unless you're doing this. Sometimes I need that. And then other days I need a women's perspective. Forleo, Maria Forleo. She's awesome. She's an amazing lady. She does Maria Forleo. I see some pens going up. That's awesome. That's my feminine side. We all have a masculine and feminine side, but she interviews some of the best people in the business, people who invented websites like DuckDuckGo, people from MIT on the crypto, whatever. She interviews them and she goes deep. And I love the way she conducts her business. She's bubbly, she's happy. Sometimes I need that. So I want you guys to get your mindset correct with making a list of your mentors, going to YouTube, and it's all free. Tony Robbins, whatever it is, make that list, go do that. And then do that every single day. Sometimes, I can't remember his name, but he was an MMA fighter. He owned a gym, an MMA gym back in the early 2000s, and he sold it in the middle of 2000 for like something, I don't know how many millions, but he just gives a 1 minute like mind vitamin, like 1 minute. He's just feeds your brain, and I love it. I got to look him up. But I want you guys to find a mentor. I want you to follow a mentor. I want you to listen to what inspires you for that day. What do you think you need? Because we all need something different every single day, right? Have you guys heard of Abraham Hicks? It's a
Yeah.
little out there. Abraham Hicks, her teacher. There you go. I see some spiritual people out there. You know what? Sometimes I need that. And then it motivates me to follow up with people on the call, because Abraham Hicks inspired me to say that, you know what, they need to hear from you. Well, whatever she's saying, I'm there, right? So that's on the mindset and being clear. Because when you're clear on where you want to go, I believe you're going to stay on track. It's easier to stay in your lane. You're not just taking exits. You know, I'm using driving analogies, obviously. You're not taking exits. You're not taking the wrong way. You're less chances of making a U-turn, because you're staying focused on where you want to go. Okay. Now let's move from mindset to our company, you know, to our product. We have to learn about our company. We have to learn about our product. If you're going to sell, let's imagine you were a computer salesperson and you work at an Apple store, and I was your client, your customer, and I just walked through the door, and I went straight up to you and I said, "Hi, I'm looking to buy a laptop. So tell me why your Apple's better than a PC." And you just started with the Apple company and you know or don't know the answer. Are you going to sell to me? Do you have more chance of selling to me if you knew the answer than not knowing the answer? Yes, of course. So you need to learn about your product, your company. You know, what does our machines do? What does our Nespa do? What does our Ukon turmeric do? You know where to learn? Just go to YouTube. Learn the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? And sift through that. That's because that's how you learn. Plug into the trainings of Enagic, plug into the trainings of other leaders. His name is Wolf of Wall Street. You guys know that movie? I forget the guy who wrote it, but Wolf of Wall Street. He taught janitors to sell, you know, stock back in the days, making millions of dollars. He taught the average person to sell, to give value to something. How did he do it? Without lying, cheating, stealing. He said this, and this is always like stuck in my head, and I share this with everybody that is new to sales or wants to increase their sales and their ability to sell. If you want to sell something, you have to make the customer fall in love with three things. The customer has to fall in love with the company, the product, and you. Let me repeat. If you want to sell anything, or if you want to be sold something, the customer, which is you or whoever's in front of you, has to fall in love with the company, the product, or you. And it doesn't matter what order that's in. Think of the last purchase or big purchase or small purchase that you bought. You know, whether it be a Toyota, whether it be an Alfa Romeo, whether it be a BMW. Did you like the company? What did you know about the company? You know, Lexus, they always have a clean garage. You know, the customer services, the coffee is not just your cheap coffee. It's your good coffee. Your creamer is the real creamer and not the powdered creamer. Whatever that is, you know, Lexus, what if I'm buying a Lexus, what am I, here's the company, the product. I want this product because it's reliable, this car because it's reliable, has enough room for my family, it's safe, whatever. You got to know what the product does. And the salesperson has to tell me what that is, why this car and this company is valuable to me. And then number three, if I'm buying from that salesperson, I got to fall in love with that salesperson. So when I'm meeting somebody new, I don't know where they're at, and I want to make a sale, I'm talking about our company, a 48-year-old company, debt-free, owned by an owner, Mr. Oshiro, who's, you know, 80 years old, 81 years old, and he owns his own golf course. He has business offices all over the world. He can fly first class. He can own his own jet, but he buys coach. He's very humble. He's very down to earth. He kept the house that he grew up in Japan, you know, that he and his family, his mom and dad raised him in. He still has that house. You know, he doesn't have to live there, but he still owns it just as a memorabilia. You know, he lived there for a long, long time. That's, you know, that's the owner of my company. The owner of my company he's Japanese. He comes to America and he sees all these homeless people and he questions, how can there be so many homeless people in one of the richest nations in the world with all the opportunities in the world, you know, here? Mr. Sherrill's asking this. And then Mr. Sherrill travels around the world and he says the same thing about the UK, about Norway, about Sweden, about Australia. He says, how can I help people climb out of poverty? How can I help people grow in wealth and health? And that's my company. That's the philosophy of my company. The philosophy of my company, the owner believes in physical health, financial health, and mental or spiritual health. You know, so those are the foundations of our company. Our product, our product is so unique to it's so unique in the industry, and it's so useful and helpful to human beings, plants, and animals. It takes regular water out of a sink or a faucet and turns it into the best drinking water in the body. Proven by a doctor here in the US, Dr. Horst Filzer, who wrote the book Alkalized Water. You can buy that on Amazon, where he specifically tested human beings with Kangen water at a scientific lab here in the US. So that's my product. This water here helps myself, my family, so many people when they utilize it. You know, if they buy it and they don't use it, it's like buying a Nike or an Adidas tennis shoes and not utilizing it for exercise. You're not going to get physically fit if you don't do it. So you're not going to get healthier inside or outside if you don't drink the water. So here's the water, and here's the science behind the water. That's the product. Me, myself, I'm Siha Top. I'm 52 years young. I've been married for 25 years, together for 29, 2 beautiful kids. And I love helping people, and I love traveling. I love growing a business. I love meeting entrepreneurs. I want to live my life, the rest of my life, doing what I want to do. And this project that I've been with for 14 years has allowed me to do that. I want to help you. How can I help you? So you see the business, the company, the product, and then myself. And you keep going around and around until they fall in love with you. That's how I make a sale, because that was one of your first questions to me, Lina, is a lot of new people go, how do I sell? I don't know how to sell. I don't blame you. Not everyone knows how to sell. I've got a client who's the produce manager of a grocery store, and he's been doing it for like 20 plus years. And now he wants to do Enagic and he wants to quit. I'm like, no. Back up. Let's back off. I love your spunk. I love your enthusiasm, but we got to start here with sales here, right? Because he's always been told what to do. He's made some decisions how to stack the apples and where to put the fruits and vegetables, but he hasn't really sold. You know, his clients came in and they bought the fruit and the vegetables that they wanted. Well, with the Kangen water, he needs to learn some skills. So we need to instill those skills in people who don't know how to sell. Okay. So that's how you start at the very beginning. Learn about the product, learn about the company, and then learn how to sell, the product, trading value. Where can you go to learn? Have you guys ever been to Enagic.com, the website? Because you should. That's your company. Go to Enagic.com, push every single button. You don't have to, you don't have to go and do it right now, but every day say, you know what, I'm going to spend 10 minutes and I'm going to study a different section and watch the videos of every section at Enagic.com. You'll be amazed at all the things you'll learn. You'll be amazed at how your product's made. There's videos on that Enagic has on there that shows how the ukon's grown and processed and made and produced. There's videos on the machines. There's videos on, that's all at Enagic.com. That's how you get to know your company and your product. So Enagic.com is one of the first things. And I'm amazed too, because you know what? They keep adding new things. When I first started, they didn't have everything that we have today, and they're continuing to change, So that's the first thing, is Enagic.com. You're new in the business or you're not new in the business, I still do it, because there's always something new that comes up. Maybe there's a promotion on how to get paid more. When I say a promotion, how to get paid more, there's always competitions. Maybe, you know what, that'll spark your teammates, whatever. Go to Enagic.com, push all the buttons, browse through it, whatever you find, whatever you learn, pass it along to your teams. Second thing, go to YouTube, and just, even when you're driving, I see some people are driving and, washing dishes or, exercising. That's what I do when I'm washing my dishes. I just out of the blue, I go to YouTube and I just put Enagic. And then I just go to the videos that I haven't seen, new, old, and everything. I want to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I have to laugh at some of these people that are saying we're scams and saying that, you know, they don't know. So they're trying to bash, you know, Enagic. But you need to know that so that you know how to address that, right? So YouTube, type in Enagic. That's the first word. Or type in Kangen Water. Take turns, whatever comes up. Or type in Enagic Pay Plan, most recent. Or type in, you know, Kangen Water with athletes. I don't know what it is. Type in something in YouTube. And the videos are usually 3 minutes to 8 minutes to 12 minutes long. What do you know, I'm washing dishes, it's 15 minutes. Maybe I get 2 videos in, maybe I get 1, right? Because I want to know what they're saying about us out there. You don't think, you know, Elon Musk, who just bought Twitter, you don't think he knows what people are saying about him and his company and everything else? It just makes you stronger. It makes you stronger, and it makes your team stronger. So that's
yes. Siha, can you give this a lot of beginners or the people who just started the business or about to start the business, the advice? Everyone wants to know the shortcuts, how to get to create residual income in the business.
This is a shortcut right now that you guys are here. To this point, I hope that I've given you some nuggets to where it's a shortcut. So the shortcut, I say this sincerely, is get plugged in with trainings, whether it be by Lina or myself or Enagic staff or some of the, you know, when I get plugged in, these Zoom calls are amazing. You know, you're halfway around the world. We get to build this global business anywhere in the world, and we get to have, you know, good trainers. You have to sift through it. There's some trainers, I tell my teams, you know what, I wouldn't waste my time, but that's just my opinion. Go look and judge for yourself. And there's other trainers I'm like, don't miss it. And you better invite 10 people to this one because they're not recording this, they're not sharing this. You know, and Enagic just this year started trainings every day by Enagic staff. They did it for the month of I haven't seen the training for November, or I missed it, but they do it literally once a week, every week, or twice a week on different products that with our different trainers. So the shortcut is to get the best training as fast as you can, but don't overtrain. There's analysis paralysis, which means some people say, oh, I'm not going to sell this, or I'm not going to share this, I'm not going to show this, I'm not going to do this until I know everything. No, you're wasting time, because this business, you can earn as you learn. That's the shortcut. Earn as you learn. Go out there and do it. Go out there and find a leader like Lina or myself who is going to handhold you a little bit. You know, we're not going to do it for you. Absolutely, we'll be there for you, but we're not going to do it for you. And I don't think you guys are the kind that you know, is if you're a true leader and want to succeed, nobody has people doing things for them, right? They're doing it themselves. So that's the shortcut, is to get plugged in. Number one way to shortcut. Number two is to leverage. Leverage means to utilize your teammates, utilize your cross lines, utilize your sponsor. What do I mean by that? Leveraging them. Like right now, Lina's leveraging me. She's having me train you guys. Okay. When you sign up new distributors and they want to do the business, you're leveraging them. So that's the fastest way to grow your team, is leverage. In this business or in any business, you want to leverage. They're not going to teach you that in business school. I know. This is, you know, stuff that you learn when you actually become the business, when you're working a business, when you're beating the street, you know, leverage. You have to leverage your people. Yeah. So that's your second way to your shortcut, right? And the third way to the shortcut, and I say this sincerely because I messed up, and Lina shared it with you guys, and that is getting with somebody who knows how to structure your business, your signups of your distributors, the way that it's going to benefit you and your teams going forward, to ranking up and getting to 6A, 6A2, 6A2-2. And for my teams, I've told them 6A2-3. And the reason why that is because when you get to that rank, you know, we all have the same opportunity. We all have the same 24 hours. We all have the same pay scale when it comes to Enagic. So when you get to 2-3, I'm not going to make income claims, but I'm just going to say it's north of $180,000 US, north of that as a 6A2-3. Okay. So, and that's passive income. And if you're working it, add another 60 to 100, $200,000. If you're working it, you know, like myself, I'm still making sales, but there's some people who got to the rank and they're not working as hard. I'm just being honest with you guys, right? So to building that, this is just a simple format. All these circles, if you have a 6A in each one of these circles, imagine your name here, and then your top 2 distributors here, one here, one here, and they have 2 top distributors, and you all become 6As. In a perfect world, you only need 14 6As underneath you to get to this 2-3 passive income.
Okay.
I'm sharing this with you because I made a mistake. When I started, my uplines, my leaders back then told me to just stack. And so I did. So I went down. So what I did was I stacked them. What that meant is I was heavy on one leg instead of being binary, left and right, left and right, left and right, and teaching my teams go left and right, left and right. I didn't understand what binary was. Remember, I had never been in this kind of business or understood. And my upline did. Wade Lightheart, the bodybuilder, he didn't know this because he had other businesses, formulating enzymes, probiotics, writing health books. He wasn't doing this as a business. In my 6th year, Wade and I had a meeting, and I said, Wade, I've got 32 6As. How come I'm not a 2-3 yet? Well, it's because I was all on one. I had 32. You only need 14. I effed up, you guys, and I don't want you guys to do that. And in my powers, and that I want to be the reason, I want to be a part of the reason why you got to 2-3 faster.
Oh, amazing.
It helps all of us. Because at 2-3, Mr. Shiro, our pay plan, like I said, is the same. We all at 2-3, we get a portion of the global sales. So if USA sales aren't strong and UK's are strong, I get a portion of the UK sales. So in a sense, you are on my team right now, you know, and eventually when you get to 2-3, we're all, everybody underneath you and around the world, including me, is on your team because my sale goes to your bonus. Isn't that beautiful? Mr. Shiro gave that to us. So is this a scam? No, I've received every one of my $5,000 minimum shokurai, or whatever they call that nowadays. It's a Japanese word. I just know it's, you know, the minimum that they give you, and I get my quarterly bonuses. And we went through a pandemic where they shut down the world. Do you think Enagic missed any of our paychecks? Zero. They paid everything. And I'm saying that because I'm so proud of it, because I went through a recession and I lost everything and I wasn't paid zero. And I started at -0 when I started this plan. You guys need to know what you have in front of you, because I didn't even know that. Okay. So shortcuts, I just gave you the shortcuts, 1, 2, and 3. I don't need to go any further, because you do that, you guys, you're in. You're all in.
So Siha, what is
Yeah.
quarterly bonus? I think a lot of people are, do you all understand what is 6A2-3? Some of you been around for some time, some are very new. Do you guys know what 6A2-3? Do you have any questions? Just type in the chat box.
Yeah, I like I shared with Lina, there's so many people from different ranks. And if you're new, you're not gonna even know what I just said there. 6A is just a rank. It means 101 sales in your teams. So if you have 50, if this is you at the top and you have a sign up on your first sign up and your second sign up, this person does 50 machines, this person does 50 machines, you make your next sale, you are a 6A, you're a 6A. Now our goal is to help them become 6As as well. So whether they do 75 on this side and 25 on that side, it adds up to 100. We don't care. We just want to help our teams get to 100 sales. So the more teammates that we can help get to 100 sales, it helps us rank up. We only need, in a perfect world, to have 14 of them, 1-4, which is very doable. I did 32 in 6 years without even thinking about it. You know,
So
I thought
do you advise people to structure this way from the very beginning, like to have a machine
diamond.
on top and then one leg like on the spot, the other leg Wukong and place one cell, one cell, one cell.
So you're going deep. You're going too deep for a lot of people here, in my opinion, because most people are just taught to sell the machine.
Yeah.
Okay. Most people are taught to sell machine. I teach my teams to sell our products or to offer our products. So our products, like I shared earlier, we have the water machines, the Kangen water machines. We have the shower filters, the Anespa, and we have our turmeric product, the Ukon. So instead of just selling one machine, what Lina was telling you guys is, yes, I teach my teammates to promote all three. So by selling the Anespa, the Ukon, and the machine. Now, don't worry about placing it. When you get the sale, reach out to Lina. She'll tell you where to put it, because that's just too much information right now. So the reason why I promote all three products, and this is how I promote it, exactly how I promote it, is in America, around the world, health insurance, we have health insurance, right? But when do we receive health insurance? When we're sick. Around the world, we know what life insurance is, right? Life insurance, when do we receive life insurance? When you die. So I call the lifestyle that I'm living and my friends and family are living with our products, all three products, living insurance. I'm investing in the best water to drink. I'm investing in the shower filter to beautify me, you know, and to give my skin and hair what it needs on the exterior. And I'm investing in the nutrients, the strongest antioxidant in turmeric. There's 9,000 studies, scientific studies about turmeric and how helpful that is for everything, literally everything, scientific studies. So I call this living insurance. I'm investing in my health and my family's health while we're alive. Okay, so all three products. That is the shortcut I think that Lina's trying to lead you guys on to. Is if you sell three, then obviously it's 3, 3, 3. It's for every customer, you have the opportunity to have 3 sales or 3 in your count. So if you needed 100, you only needed 34 customers instead of 100 customers, because 34 times 3 is 102. Does that make sense? So that is the simplest way that I can share with you via virtuality and showing you the page in our products.
So yeah, one of my team members asked me, he said, maybe, well, is it a good idea to start teaching people doing this structure? Because some of them are worried that their team members, the downline, is catching most of the 8 points.
It's all, you know what? It's always a good idea to teach people, to offer people what you have. I shared with you, in America, we have house insurance, right? If you own a home, you buy house insurance. What does that mean? Your house insurance is for fire. If it burns down, they rebuild it, you know, the house. It's for earthquake. It's for wind damage. It's for a tree falling on it. It's for floods. So the more policies that you have, the more that you have to pay for that insurance. But every insurance salesperson, as every insurance agent, disclose, a good one will say, hey, do you want these types of insurance? And then let the customer decide whether they need it or not. So when I share all three products of our Kangen Water, our Enagic products, my clients will decide what's best for them. Sometimes, you know what, they just want the Anespa. Sometimes they just want just the Ukon, the turmeric. Sometimes they just want just the water for now, and they'll get the rest later. Is that wrong? No, it's what the customer wants, but you have to offer it. If you don't offer it, they're not going to know. I'm going to ask you right now, do you guys offer all three products? And I bet you 99% of you are going to say no.
I do.
We offer. Let them decide. Is that what you're trying to get from me, Lina?
Yes, yeah, some
Okay.
because a lot of people only only know about the water device K8 SD501. They are not familiar with the rest.
Now, how many are you here on this call? And you can give me a thumbs up to answer this, because I just want to see how many of you people here are in it for the money, the business only. Give me a thumbs up. Great. Because there are some people, there are some of my clients, some of my teammates who are only in it for the business. Like Enagic, the Vietnamese team is ripping it up. Okay, they're only in it for the money. They're only in it, that's not wrong. That's their choice. But if that were the case, then we wouldn't structure it with the health products that I just shared with you. If you're in it for the money, then you would only be doing the UConn DD program, which is selling the supplement part of it. On the DD program means that it's a every 4 months you get a shipment of your UConn, and in a year there's 3 shipments. So Enagic, if the buyer goes all through the year and pays for all 3 shipments, you were the sponsor, you get 3 points in your team. So 1 sale of UConn DD is 3. 1 sale of a machine is 1.
Oh, okay.
So what they do is all they do is they invest in the UConn DD. So it's 3, 6, 9. 9 in your count in 1 year for 1 person. So you only have to do 11 people, or 12, technically 12, because 9 times 11 is 99. So 12 takes you to 102. So you have 12 people doing UConn DDs. You're ranking up faster. They're investing to get to the 2-3 level where I'm at. They're just creating faster 6As everywhere. So again, that's why I asked that question. For people who want the business side, I can teach you how to rocket this thing. And for the most of us, like myself, who promote the lifestyle, I teach all. I promote all. Does that make sense? So that's not a shortcut. That's just a different way of building a business, a different way of investing in your future.
Okay.
And
do you guys have any questions? Can you please just type in the chat box? Okay.
I'm going to continue a little bit more while your guys are thinking of your questions, and Lina will get those. So I left off at enagic.com. I left off at the YouTube to learning. The next thing I already shared with you, plug into the free trainings with corporate and other leaders. I already shared that with you. Learn how to process your orders online or by forms. You're brand new at this. So if somebody wanted to buy a machine, do you know how to place the order? I know that's, a lot of people, whether they're new or old, don't know how to place an order. It's very easy, but you have to learn how to do that. And online, in the US, we have online. I don't know about UK. Okay, so you have to check with your UK office, Enagic office, to see if there's a way to process orders online. Lina, maybe do you know? Can you process your orders online?
In Europe, if we have an Enagic EWS website, we can put order.
Okay. Well, in America, even if you don't have an Enagic website, you can process online. You just go to enagic.com/shop, SHOP. That's in America. So you need to find out in the Enagic office, Lina, the manager just asking, hey, I heard that in the US, you don't need an EWS website, but you can still process online with Enagic or enagic.com/shop. That's one way we can do it. You don't need an EWS. Another way that we can do it is Global Operations Center, GOC, here in the US. Again, I don't know if that's there in Europe. Every country with laws and development, all that's totally different. But that I would highly recommend that you guys learn how to process orders. Get that out of the way. Have your forms ready, because in the old days we had forms, right, that you had to fill out for your clients. Or with the forms, I'll give you a tip, a big, huge tip that'll make you thousands, hundreds of thousands. When you're ready to place an order, do not, ! Do not give the forms to the customers to fill out. You fill it out. You know, when I was a real estate agent or mortgage broker, I got paid hundreds of thousands of dollars when I took an application for a client. Here's what I said. What's your name? What's your middle initial? What's your date of birth? What's your address? What's your email? Okay. They didn't, when you do that, you're customer servicing, you're bonding with them, you're getting all that information, and you have the power to turn it in. I'm a control freak when it comes to business. I want to see it go through. I don't want to give it to my clients and assume that they're going to do it. And you know what? It's intimidating to a lot of people. Getting forms and stuff, it's intimidating, or it's an inconvenience. I don't want anything to inconvenience my sale. I'm going to do it for you. So if you're on my team and you're doing forms, mandatory, you take the forms, you take the information. Here's another way that I teach my teams how to do the forms quicker, faster, and on your own time. What I do is, if I've got a sale, I'm doing the application where I'm filling it out, I will ask my client, can I take a picture of your driver's license so that I make sure that it gets sent to the correct address? I'll have all that information. And also, which credit card do you want me to put this on? When they whip it out, I take a picture of the credit card front and back. And then I play my golf with them, or I have my lunch with them, or I'm in the moment with them. I'm having my coffee with them. When I get home, then I process that information online because I have everything. I have their address, I have their name, I have their credit card. And here in the US, we have to have their social insurance number, social security number, or in Canada, they call it social insurance number when they're doing the business. So that I write down. So I'm sharing with you, learn how to process orders. The easier you make a sale for a customer, the faster, the more sales you'll get. So that's me. That's customer service. And that's the control freak I am when it comes to closing a deal. I want to know it's done. I don't want to assume. Okay.
So Siha, Fabian got a question.
Sure.
He asked, does the Wukong DD ID disappears if you stop paying for it?
No. Yes and no. Yes, if it's before the 1 year mark. No, if it's after the 1 year mark. Okay. So you want to make sure it goes through through the year. And to me, again, you only need 12 buyers will get you to 6A. And then you teach those 12 buyers to get 12 buyers, and they'll go 6A. And remember, 12, you need 14 in a perfect world. You're almost there. That's how Dang is ranking up 2-3, 2-4, 2-5, 2-6 yearly, is because he's taught, or he's recruited and taught to the Vietnamese business investors. That's what I call them. They're investors, to invest $10, $20, $30, $40,000 in Wukong DD to go up in rank.
Yeah, I was wondering, what was the strategy?
It's just, so again, I got so many, I'm like a coach, you know, I got all these plays, but I got to make sure who's the players that can use, that can play, that can put this play together. I use a lot of sports analogy, so sorry. You know what? So I'm the coach in a sense, and I know all these plays. I know how to win a game. So that's why I asked you before I even shared that, you know, how many people here are in it just for the business, and nobody gave me a thumbs up, and that's okay. There are going to be people who just want to do this for the business. Matter of fact, you know, the Wukongs that they buy, they don't even take. Who cares? That's their life. You know, I've got a client who bought our Kangen water machine. They've never drank it. They bought it for their dog. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? So don't get, because you know it's good, you know it's good for you, and you know it's good for them. Who cares? They're buying it for them. Let them do whatever they want. Okay. How to promote. I want to go over this really quick. How are we doing? I'm sorry, guys. I'm like at an hour. Are you good? Are we all good? Can I continue? If you got to go, you got to go. But I just wanted, all right. Love it. I love it. Keep coming with the questions and stuff like that. I just got to, I came prepared. I came here, you know, giving you guys, you know, what I thought Lina was asking of me as a leader to share with people who are just starting, people who are here. And I just want to give you all these golden nuggets so that, you know, you go out of here, you have the foundation of becoming a 2-3 as fast as you can. So the next thing I'm going to share about is how to promote. How do you promote your business? How do you promote your, what you're selling? Well, let's start with this. Everybody here has a cell phone, correct? Anybody here not have a cell phone? Okay, everybody has a cell phone. In your cell phone, how many contacts do you have in there? 300, 600, 1,200, 2,000 contacts, I bet you, in your cell phone, correct? Of those people that you have in your contacts, do you know them? You better, they're in your contacts. You might have forgotten some, but they're in there for a reason. They're your mechanic, they're your eye doctor, they're your neighbor, they're your friends, they're your family, they're your veterinarian, they're your dentist, they're everybody in your life. Am I correct? Yes, I am. I know I am, because I am the same way. So those of every one of those contacts, do they know what you do? Do they know what you do? That's my question to you. Go to them, text them, call them, have coffee with them, catch up with them, and tell them or remind them what you do. What is it that you do? I'm going to ask, if I was to ask you what you do, I'm going to ask Carolina. You hear me, buddy? Turn on your microphone for me, please. Turn on your microphone.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm a customer and you just met me on the bus or on the plane or in the coffee shop. And this is, just be real with me, play along with me on this. And then I'm asking you, so what is it that you do, Carolina? What is it that you do?
Well, my initial response would be a college student.
Okay.
Yeah. But then,
That's
yeah, pretty much.
I put you on the spot there. Thank you. That's one. I'm gonna do one more. Ania. Is it Ania? Can you please turn on your microphone?
Yeah, it's Anya. Hello.
Yeah, Anya, sorry. Anya, can I ask, what is it that you do?
A teacher mainly. And
Okay.
I also sell Thermomixes, but that's on the side as a hobby, really.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, you guys. I put you on the spot. Ask me what I do, Lina.
Siha, what do you do?
I'm glad you asked. I teach on water health and water quality. I love to travel, so I get to travel around the world, speaking on stages, telling people, what's the best water to put in their body. I work with families who have, health challenges, cancer, diabetes, weight loss, whatever. I also work with doctors and athletes, to improve their performance. I love what I do.
Wow.
You need your 11-second elevator speak. And if you're selling water, if you're teaching water, you need to say that. I have so many clients that have 2 or 3 jobs in doing Kangen, which is great, which is awesome. But if you're a carpenter and you're a lawyer or a teacher and you say that, that's what you are. Am I going to go to an accountant who doesn't say that he's an accountant? No. So I'm sharing with you, if you want to sell Kangen water machine, you have to have a script to saying, I sell the best water filters around the world because I believe in water health. Whatever it is, I shared you with mine. I say I teach or I consult or I speak on water health and water quality. The reason why I use teach, speak, or consult is because I'm not selling. I'm teaching you, I'm consulting you, I'm advising you. You see what I'm saying? Because once people hear that, and I'm in the elevator, I say I speak around the world, they go, oh, really? Yeah, I speak at health and mind forums. I've spoken at schools, I've spoken to athletes, I've spoken to coaches, which I have. But if you haven't, it's okay. You can say I teach or I advise or I consult online business, global business, whatever it is that you do. But it has to be your water and Enagic business first, if that's what you want to sell. Not your carpentry, not your lawyer, not your doctor, not your trucking, not your carrier, not your everyday job. No. If you want to build an Enagic business, you have to be the expert at Enagic. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's how you promote. So go back to your contacts list and contact them. Get your 11-second elevator pitch. What is it that you do that I'm telling you right now? should be towards the Enagic business, the water business or the health business. You know, that's tied in. That's what you
Yes,
are.
thank you for share. But what about people who just started? They don't have the confidence like you to say, I teach, I consult, and
I just started a new business. I just started a new business that I want to build. I just started a new business that I want to build. I've seen so many people, you know, give your reasons, you know, whether it's on the business side. I've seen so many people become successful at it. Just like becoming a realtor or becoming an insurance sales. I want to sell this. Be honest, be straightforward. You know, I just started a project that I'm invested in that I'm going to build. And here's why. And I'm looking to recruit people who want to do the same thing. And I'm trying to find people who want to do the same thing. Can you refer me somebody? Don't ask them maybe about them. What do you mean refer? What about me? You know, make them feel left out. So can you refer somebody to me? Okay, so if you're new at this, why did you get into this? And if somebody asks you what you do, you should tell them. So who's here is new? Who's here is new? And like, okay, so Patrick, you raised your hand. I saw you raise your hand. I got all these screens, so I first come, first serve. So Patrick, you're new. So if I asked you what you do, what would you say? Or what did you say? I want to know exactly what you used to say. Whether it was with the water, what did you do?
Okay, so basically, if someone asks me what I do, I said, you know, sorry, with the actual economy, you know, the recession, you know, and I just try to help people to improve their incomes, and by set up their own business online. It can be part-time and full-time, and by promoting true health. So I said,
okay, if that's your heart, that's your
this is
flow.
what?
If that is your heart, if that's your heart,
Yeah,
your,
that's my flow. That's my, yeah.
yes,
yeah.
then go with that. But also read the person in front. Before you answer, you should get to know what they do. And the sooner that you can the sooner that you can connect with the person in front of you, whether it's 10 seconds, 1 minute, or 10 minutes, you should choreograph your answers to them. So if you're new at this business and you're in an elevator and this person doesn't have a job, you have to choreograph it to that person who doesn't have a job. Hey, you know what? I just started a global business myself. This business that I started is 48 years old, you know, debt-free company selling an eco-friendly product that's good for you and saves families tons of money, you know, going forward. And we as salespeople, we make unlimited amount of income. It's so easy to do. You see it? So that's for somebody who you're just now in the same elevator, you have a businessman who already makes $500,000. And he's at, you know, you're asking him what he does, and then he or she says, so what is it that you do? And you just started. You say, you know what? I'm looking for entrepreneurs just like you. I'm looking for entrepreneurs just like you to help grow, to increase your monthly income. I can help increase your monthly income by 10, 20, 30%, by 20 to 30%. This is how. I sell a water device that, you know, I sell a water device out of manufactured out of Japan. It's a global business, and I'm looking for people who are interested in their health or their wealth. Can you refer me 5 people? Of the 5 people, I guarantee you, I bet you I can inspire them to buy. I can inspire 2 to 3 of them to buy a machine. And when they do, you're going to make on average of $300 for the first sale, $300 for the second sale, and $600 for the third sale. And it goes all the way up to like $2,700. So that script is for a businessman or woman that's already making $500,000. I'm saying I can help you increase your monthly income 20 to 30%. I do all the work. All you need to do is refer me. Do you see what I'm saying? So get your 11-second answer of what is it that you do ready, and then try to beat them, whoever your prospect is, try to beat them to asking you what is it that you do by getting to know them, you know, in that 10 seconds, in that 30 seconds, in an elevator. That's why I call it an elevator. I meet, how many times you're in an elevator, how many times you're in the Starbucks line, getting coffee. You need to have that ready. Okay. That's something you need to have. If
So
you're an attorney or an accountant, you're proud of it.
see how, what if someone said, I don't have time to do this?
Do you know anybody that's
Okay.
looking for better health? Do you know anybody that's looking to make side income? Do you know anybody from one of the lines, depends who I'm with. I said, do you know anybody who likes to make people smile? Because I love meeting people who make people smile. The person that walks in the door and everybody just lights up. Can you introduce them to me? And then when they introduced me, I said, hey, John referred me to you because he says you make people smile. I love people who make people smile. You know what? I'm in the business of making people smile too. Boom.
Oh, wow.
So it's introduction and it's connecting. It's being real. I'm not being fake. That's the truth. I love what, you want to light up when you come into the room. You want to meet people who light up. You know who I'm talking about. You go to a meeting and the ones that light up, that's who you want to sit next to. That's who you want to high five. That's who you want to, start working today and going into the future with, because they're happy, good, bad, or otherwise.
Wow. Very good. Thank you for the
Yeah.
share. So,
So
what would you say to, I think a lot of people are having challenges to invite their friends and
Okay.
family to attend Kangen
yeah, that's on my next. That's on my
workshop
next.
or Kangen presentation.
Before the invite, let me share this really quick. So your contacts list, attraction marketing on social media, attraction marketing, social media videos and stories and posts, affiliate marketing, make review videos of the company, of the products, and yourself. So those are just some marketing ideas of today. Social media, little videos, like I said, your stories, maybe you're cleaning fruits and vegetables. It doesn't have to be long. It's when I'm using my juicer, I'm washing my machine, I'm washing my fruits and vegetables 11.5. Well, I'm just shooting a quick video saying, getting all the contaminants off my fruits and vegetables before I stick it through my juicer. Boom. 10 seconds, 15 seconds on a story or on your video, on your, Facebook feed, Facebook post. You got to market, promote. Every successful business markets and promote. Do you guys, when you're watching TV or listening to the radio or opening a magazine, do you ever see any BMW ads? Do you ever see any Nike ads? Do you ever see any Adidas ads? Do you ever see any Calvin Klein ads? Well, hello. We all know who they are and what they do, but you're always seeing their ads. You need to add. And that's where I'm saying attraction marketing. Attraction marketing is what's your lifestyle. You're not showing off. You're showing them what you love. I love to travel. I love to shoot guns. I love fast cars. I love, eating food. So that's attraction marketing. People will connect with you around the world. Hey, where's this beach or whatever that is. That's attraction marketing. Social media videos, the story posts is just what I just shared with you. Just little short 30-second videos or whatnot. Whether you have music to it or whatever, or you speaking to it, whatever. You just got done with a run, or a jog or a walk, that was 2 miles, 3 miles, 5 miles. Just post the picture of your watch or snapshot of your fitness that's on your phone app and say, I did it, 7 days in a row. I jogged 5 miles. That's accomplishment on you're not showing off. That's accountability for me. If I'm doing that, it's I did it, I'm just, hey, maybe I inspired somebody to go, yeah, if that fat little Asian guy can do it, then I can do it. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, you just want people to that's attraction marketing. Affiliate marketing. Once in a while, drip. Hey, I've been in this business for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 14 years. It's the best thing that I know of to date. DM me if you want more information. Okay, that's affiliate marketing. Once in a while, you drip each thing. Make videos as a company. I already shared that. Products and yourself. So marketing is very, very important. Just drip on people. Okay, you got to market. Maybe it's a brand new shoe, and you said, you know what, I thought the shoe made me faster, but I don't think so. It's the water that I'm drinking. This Kangen water has given me so much energy. A little short story. So that's authentic. It's real. It's you, and it's showing people. You know, look at Lina, how she's traveling, she's meeting people, she's, you know, shopping, she's, you know, that's her lifestyle. I'm not telling you to be her or to be me or whatever, but she's plugging that in. And once in a while you have a water bottle. Once in a while you have the machine in the background. Once in a while you have a Kangen Water t-shirt, an Enagic t-shirt. Once in a while you're on the golf course, the Enagic golf course. You know, that's, people see that and they go, man, this guy's, or this gal, this is what they're about. I want a piece of that. They know that you're real. That's all that is. Okay. Now, so that leads me to the invite. The invite is also very, so now you promoted for the Zoom calls, for the, you know, the business and all that. How do you invite people? Very simple. Simple to me. You become the commercial. You are the commercial. What do I mean by that? You are the trailer. If a new movie's coming out, Top Gun, I'm just going to pick a movie because that was a big one. Top Gun. When you saw the commercial on Top Gun, the trailer on Top Gun, did that not, if you're a Top Gun fan, or did that not you want to get up and I want to go watch the movie? They didn't show you the whole 2-hour movie. They showed you 30 seconds, 18 seconds, a minute. So every movie has a trailer, has a commercial. You are the commercial to the trailer to this demo. You are the commercial, the trailer to the Zoom call. I teach my teams, you have to be the commercial, because I can't be there for you. I can't tell you there's a script. I hate scripts. And if you're reading a script to me, I ain't gonna go to your program. But if you enlighten me and you inspire me like a commercial, you know, if you see I'm sitting on the couch and I see a commercial for, here in the States, or the terminology called chick flick. It's like a ladies movie, you know, and guys normally go, but I'm seeing this commercial. I can't wait for my wife to get home so I can say, hey, babe, you want to go to this movie? Because I think it's really cool, you know, or a horror movie or a comedy. It's all these little commercials that get you inspired to go seeing. That's what you have to do when you're inviting, you know. That's the best way. There's other ways which I've seen people teach it. I don't prefer it, where they say, you know, there's limited seating. I've saved a seat for you, and if you don't come, you know, I'm gonna have to give you. I don't. That's just not me. But I know that works as well too. You know, where you say, hey, I've got a seat saved for you. You know, if you can show up 5 minutes early, otherwise I'm gonna have to give the seat away. You know, it's the takeaway of inviting. Again, I want to share that with you because some people do that and like that. It's just not my flavor. I connect with the person. I find out what floats their boat. I find, you know, what do they want out of life? Do they want health, wealth, money, fun? What is it that they want? And that's then I design my commercial or my invite towards that. Right. So like, for instance, like the conference that we went to in San Diego, or the Enagic conferences, I think they're so important, so important. So I want to invite my teams. The most I've ever taken my teams to one of those events, I had 53 teammates, because I was told the more teammates that you can get to these events, the more leaders that you'll have. When I first started the business. So I invited 53 of them, you know. I said, I don't care if you have to sleep in my room. I don't care if we have to take a bus. I don't care. I got everybody, rich, poor, doesn't matter, starting, you know, I always knew myself. We got 53 of them there. Of the 53, I think maybe 15 of them went 6As or above.
Wow.
Okay. So it's just a numbers game like anything else. But how did I get them there? Well, I wanted to do it. This is how I got them there. I enticed them not on the business. I enticed them on the lifestyle. I said, let's just go. We're all just starting. You know, we can barbecue on my deck. We can, you know, BYOB, bring your own booze or bring your own beef is the acronym here in the States. And we can just party on my deck. And so I created that, you know, that vision, which we did, what I wanted to do. But that was my invite. I was the commercial to that event. You know, and for some of them, I said, you know what, I'm going to be speaking on stage for the first time, and there's going to be 1,500 people in the audience, and I'm scared. But if I see you, and if I see you more, the more people I see that I know, I'm going to be less scared. And that was the absolute truth. I was so frightened of public speaking. My number one fear was public speaking and heights. Right. when I did, that was the biggest crowd I spoke to, 1,500 people in Las Vegas in the big auditorium. You know how I got through that? The lights were so bright, I couldn't see anybody. I couldn't see anybody. So I just said, you know what, just speak from the heart. Cause that's what my mentor told me. He said, pray before you get on stage, have God speak through you, da, 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 da. And that's what I did. But that's how I got through that. But again, I'm regressing. I invited people over because I said it was going to be fun. Let's do this. You know, we don't have a lot of money, but we can all just get together and just powwow together. So that's the invite, you know. So invite, ask for referrals. You know, my business grows, your business grows, the more referrals we ask. As a real estate agent, as a mortgage broker, as soon as I did a loan or help somebody buy their house, I always ask them, who else do you know that needs, you know, financing? Who else do you know that needs a house? I'd love to help them too. So in this business, Enagic business, if it's not right for them, I say, who do you know that needs the health? Who do you know that needs, you know, when I say the health, I get specific. Who do you know that needs, you know, help with their diabetes or help with weight loss or help with, you know, cancer? I said help. I didn't say cure. I didn't say fix. I said help.
Yeah.
Can you introduce me to them? You guys ever do water share? We
Yes.
share the water.
Yes.
We do water share, and there's a way to, I call it turn off the spigot, because some people just keep sharing and sharing and sharing. They never ask for the sale. For me, if I'm sharing, like say I'm sharing to, is it Francisco? Yeah, Francisco. Yeah. Say I'm sharing to Francisco. When I'm sharing the water to you, Francisco, I'm going to say, hey, Francisco, I'm so glad that you know that we get to work together and I get to share this water with you. Most people who drink my water get more energy, lose weight, get off their meds, you know, stop snoring, whatever it is, you tell me. So every other, how many people do you have in your family, Francisco, in your household?
We're three of us, me, my girlfriend, and my daughter.
So I want you guys to drink at least a half a gallon to a gallon a day. So it's 3 of you. I'm going to give you 6 gallons. Okay. So that's about 2 to 3 days. In 3 days, if this is a Monday, I want to see you Wednesday so that I can refill you with fresh. But when you drink the half a gallon to a gallon per day, let me know if you feel any difference. Okay. We meet on Wednesday. I usually meet them somewhere. I used to have them come to my house. I don't. I meet them halfway somewhere, at a grocery store, parking lot, or whatever. So he's got skin into it and I got skin in it. I'm not doing it for free. I'm not going to his house. I'm not begging you. So Francisco and I meet. And so I go, so Francisco, you and your family try. Wait, have you felt anything? Anything that I shared with you? Maybe he says, you know what, Siha, you're right. I got more energy. And my wife says she falls asleep faster. Awesome. So let's keep going. See you in 3 days. Here's 6 more gallons, right? So now it's 6 days later. We're trading again. Anything new? Well, not for me, but my wife, she sleeps better and she's not constipated. Awesome, man. That's so great. Keep drinking it, because this is what people tell me. 3 days later, right? So now we're 3, 6, 9. We're on the 9th, third exchange, 9th time. Excuse me, the 9th day. So Francisco, hey buddy, you know, I told you I was going to share this with you for 2 weeks. We're coming on the end, on the next one. And you got like great results from it, great benefits from it, you and your family. I'm so happy for you. Dude, let's get one on your counter. We can order one on your counter right now. Or you know what? I'm going down to the office. I can pick one up. I can help you install it, you know, on the way back. Then I zip it. I shut up. And Francisco's going to say, yeah, let's do this. Or no, I can't right now. You know, I'm going through a divorce, or I'm in between jobs, or whatever his excuse is. Or, well, maybe, but we need to meet with my wife, whatever it is. Right. But I'm asking for the sale. And whatever the answer is, like, you know, if he says, no, it's just not the right time, Siha, that's a lot of money, whatever the excuse is, I just say, you know what, Francisco, I'm so glad that you got the benefits that you did. I don't want to be a forever water boy where I'm delivering water. I want to help more people like you and your wife experience the benefits of it. So, you know, the next time I meet with you is our last time, but I don't want to just cut you off. if you come to one of my demos at my house or wherever I'm speaking, I'll give you another 2 weeks. So I'm trading. Or I say, you know, or if you can't make it to any of my meetings, because I know you're working 3 jobs and you got, you know, 2 kids and everything else. How about if you can refer me 3 to 5 people who you know need this health product or a side gig, I'll continue to share the water with you for the next 2 weeks. So I'm looking for a trade.
Trade,
Does that make sense? So I'm turning off the spigot slowly because I'm being honest. I don't want to be a forever water boy. I want to help more Francisco's and more Francisco's wife, more, you know, and I want to continue. And I'm looking for that kind of people. You already felt it. The proof's in the pudding. I'm here to help you buy it. That's what I'm projecting. Okay.
Very good point.
Water share and asking for referrals. I always ask for referrals. Always. I don't care who it is. If they say no to me, that's okay. Who do you know? Because if you by chance get a sale and your neighbor referred them, you can always go back to your neighbor and say, hey, thanks for the referral. You know what? My company has this referral program. If you sign up, if you get a machine, it's like getting $300 off. I use 300 because, you know, the commission is average 300, 285 or 340, K8 or SD51. So I just use 300. It's easy math. So I said, the company's going to send you about $300 on the first one, $300 on the second one, $600 on the third machine. Is that true? Yes, it's true. I'm not lying about anything. And it can go up to as high as $2,700 if you capture all 800, right? So I was to my neighbor, I was like, you can get in and sign in, or I can just, you know, give you a thank you. You know, I give him a thank you card, and there's a couple bills that fall out of the thank you card. You know, that's my choice. That's how I get referrals. I'm just sharing with you. I sell at full price. I never discount. I just either try to sign them up, you know, either they buy or they do the Tokurai and they're just referring people to me, or I just give them a thank you card and a couple bills fall out when they open it, you know. So it's up to you. That's the referral. Okay. Follow up. Did I see somebody raise a hand? We're all good. So following up. Following up with your client is very important. You know, call them, text them, email them, face-to-face meeting, coffee, food, you know, autoresponders. If you have the CRMs, you know, that when they contact you, it automatically, you know, sends them a message. The follow-up is really key. Come on, think about it. Do you buy anything with people on the first time? Probably not. They say it takes an average of 7 times. But if you follow up sincerely, whether with a text or a phone call or a meeting, I've seen my sales, you know, by following up 60-70% more sales because I did that than not. And that was something that was hard for me. I had to work at that, you know, but I started to enjoy it when I said it's just a mindset thing. Well, I'm following up these people because it's not about the money. It's about, you know, it's not one sale. It could lead me to 10 sales. That's from you got to play your own mind games. For me, it's like, it's not one sale, Siha, that could lead you to 10 or 100. Then I'm following up. Whatever kicks your butt to go do it, you got to follow up. Okay. And that's it, guys. That's everything that I put on my list, and just a few other notes here, but I'm going to leave it at that and throw it back to Lina and throw it back to you guys with any questions, comments. You know, I'm here for you.
Do you guys have any questions? I know Michael Kim asked me a lot of questions 2 weeks ago. Michael, are you still there? Michael?
Yeah, I'm still here, Lina.
Yeah, do you have any questions for Siha? Siha has been in the business for 14 years. You asked me 2 weeks ago, you said you wanted to know whether this business is true or not. How many people actually make this you know, this amount of money?
You know, Michael, I had the same question. I came from a background of, you know, contracts, you know, real estate contracts and stuff like that, development contracts. And here I'm in this multi-level, and there's no contracts, there's no policy and procedure manual, there's nothing. Now there's all that. Is it absolutely true? I'm going, as real as I am coming virtually over to you, and for 14 years, it has been the best blessing in my family's life. And I'm so grateful for how real this opportunity is. It's the most, in my opinion, authentic business that you're paid upon, your efforts. And that to me is as organic as you can get when it comes to a business. What are you going to put in it? You're going to get out of it. Michael, when I first started, I had the same question as you, but I had no choice because I had no money. I was broke. I had another job. The first 2 months of selling these machines, I only worked 5 to 10 hours per week because I only wanted to make enough money to pay off my $4,000 machine, which was about 9 sales. Okay. Well, in that same 2 months, I was also selling a job with a very small base. I was selling x-ray machines for hospitals. But mind you, this was 2008 in the US when there was a recession, and no hospitals or any doctors were buying x-ray machines. And the company that hired me gave me all these, contacts and leads to go to hospitals and doctors to meet. I went every single one of them that was on that list. I was so broke, I was sleeping in my car because I wanted to be efficient down the highway, in the rest areas, in the parking lot. At the same time as selling these x-ray machines, I had the Kangen Water in my life, and I just wanted to pay it off, sharing it with my friends and family, my warm markets. In 2 months, working 5 to 10 hours a week, I was able to pay off my $4,000 machine. Well, in 2 months, in working 80 hours to 100 hours per week, I'm not kidding you, because I needed to pay for my mortgage and my kids and my babies and everything, my lifestyle. Guess how many x-ray machines I sold? 0. So I'm one of those guys where I'm result driven. Here I'm working 80 to 100 hours a week trying to sell x-ray machines to a whole slew of contacts, and I get 0. And on this hand, I work 5 to 10 hours and I make $4,000. It doesn't sound like a lot, but I said, what if I worked 50, 60, 70, 80 hours that I used to in my real estate business on this Kangen Water business? And I did. I busted tail. And that was 2 months in. 8 more months, I became a 6A. So it took me I'm not sharing this to brag or show. No, everybody's got a different path that they're going down and timeframes that they're going down. But I had those questions. Is this real or not? I got to 6A at 10 months. Like I said, 6 years went by. I was able to pay off I didn't file bankruptcy. I was able to pay off my credit cards. I was able to pay off my second mortgage on my house, which I took out during the recession, which was $125,000. I was able to do all that with Enagic, working and putting it in. And at the 6-year mark, like I said, I was like, why am I not a 2-3? Then I structured it right. And 2 more years later, in 8 years, I became a 6A 2-3. And then we have the pandemic, which came in 2020, 2021, and 2020 and 2021. Enagic paid me through those times. And my client, my distributor teammates who had water stores, I have 4 teammates who have water stores in our state and other states. They're able to stay open because they were deemed a necessity because of their health equipment, where other companies were told to shut down. So I felt good knowing that my teammates could derive an income during a shutdown. We're talking a global shutdown, and our company thrived through it, and we're continuing to thrive. So my answer, it's longer than I wanted it to be for you, Michael, but yes, it is absolutely true and real. I'm able to live a freedom lifestyle where don't do as I say, or don't do as I do as I say, kind of a thing. I have a saying, life by design. I design my life where I work less and make more. So honestly, at this point in my career, I work Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock. That's it.
Wow.
No apologies. No apologies. I've just made everything really efficient. That's where that's where I stay focused. That's where my kids are in school. My wife's doing her thing. I can just focus on building the best business in that amount of time, right? And be able to still grow financially and lifestyle wise, and care for people. It's absolutely real. So that's me. If you guys, I'm working to work less. I'm the laziest guy in the world. I wanted to exit. I wanted to retire. That's why I ask you from, whether you're in college or whether you have a business or whether you have a job, why are you working? Me, I'm working to retire. I'm working to quit. And now I'm not quitting. I get to do what I love in the allotted time that I do. So that's my answer to you, Michael. It is absolutely real.
What would you say in terms of? I mean, the whole business model is around freedom and all that kind of stuff. And obviously, there's other jobs there or other avenues which provide that freedom. What is unique with Enagic?
What I believe is unique is a global business, an online business, a 24-hour business, a product that everybody wants, a longevity business. I'm not looking to start anything over, whether it's in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I'm 52 years young. I started this when I was 40. So yeah, there's endless opportunities in the world. I just picked one, just like there's tons of automobiles out there. We just picked the car that we're going into to get us from point A to point Z. I picked Enagic because I believe this is the right vehicle for me to go from here to there, where I need to be. And I'm trying to help other people get into the same vehicle if that's their liking, if that's their desires as well.
And in terms of the product, obviously, we are selling a product which the value here is health and all that kind of stuff. Just more about the production of it. Is it produced ethically? And, is there any evidence backing this? And, the other side of that question is, when we talk about Enagic and the water and all that kind of stuff, we're talking about the good stuff. And I've not heard any details around, if you overconsume this water or if you overdo it, what can happen?
Okay, so you had a couple questions in there. Let me first address, the production of the machines and the units. If you go to enagic.com and click on the videos, you'll see how it's produced. And like for instance, our Ukon product, our turmeric product, where the company utilizes 11.5 to process the cleaning and 2.5 to disinfect it without having to use chemicals. The Mr. Shiro, who's from Okinawa, Japan, he wanted to help his country, his area where he grew up with, bring an industry there. He's got contracts with the growers to the growers in the area for the next 90 years or so. He's got contracts for them. He provides the fertilizer. Enagic provides the fertilizer for all these farmers so that the product is consistent in nutrients, at no cost. So that's on the Ukon. On the platinum and the titanium, he's got I don't know how many years left, but it was a 99-year locked-in price for these companies to provide the platinum and the titanium to Enagic. And we have certificates in the office that show that these platinum, to be medical grade equipment, certified as medical grade equipment anywhere in the world, it's usually 90, here in the US, it's 90% purity or higher. Our titanium, our platinum is 99.9% pure. So that's on the machines. Mr. Shiro, what attracted me to the company and to his philosophy was he said something really key to me when I was going through the recession in 2008 and I was looking for a company. He said that he wanted to leave the earth. When he does leave the earth, he wanted to leave a lighter footprint than when he came in. And I just thought that is absolutely amazing. At one time, and I don't know if it's still going on now, but if the bottles for our salines and the filters, we could take them back to the office and they would recycle them correctly. Because 99% or 90% of the plastics that people take to recycling don't get recycled around the world. And so he wanted to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. So there's these little things that the company's doing. There is a certificate if you go to enagic.com that show that we've won by an association that recognizes eco-friendly products, you know, where we're promoting not putting plastic bottles back, you know, buying them and disposing of them or recycling them. Our machines, we become the water manufacturer, you know. So if you're looking at how the products produce and going forward for humanity, is it leaving the earth better? I believe so. I absolutely believe so. And then the third part of your question, I forgot. And first,
it was just around, you know, the we talk about the good about the water and everything, you know, which is Enagic, but you know, what happens, you know, if you overconsume this?
If you overconsume any kind of water, whether it be Kangen water or bottled water or faucet water, you're going to die, period. I know that for a fact, because when I first started the business, I think I was 2 years into it, and maybe we can still find it on Google or YouTube. This is probably about 2010 to 2012, because I started in 2008. There's a radio station in Sacramento or San Francisco, California, who had a water drinking contest, who could drink the most water in the shortest amount of time. And I forget the details, how much time it was, but this young lady in her 20s drank the most water, and she died, regular water. And the reason why is because your brain, or excuse me, the interstitial fluid, the brain, it's called waterlog, where it dilutes the minerals that the brain, that the liquid around the brain is in. It dilutes that mineral, and you die. It's waterlog is what it's called. I don't know the medical terminology. So whether it be Kangen water or whether it be any kind of water, if you do more than, you know, the recommended, you know, 1 ounce of Kangen water is what we say, 1 ounce per body pound per day. So if you're 128 pounds, that's 128 ounces. That's a gallon, to give you a visual. That's why I shared in my training, I said, drink a half a gallon to a gallon, because, you know, when you tell people to drink a gallon, they're going to drink a half. You know, so I prefer saying a gallon. So, and I know people are going to drink, for the most part, people are going to drink a half. If you tell them to drink a half a gallon, they're going to drink, you know, a half of that. So I know that you're not going in anything, just don't overdo it. I'm not a doctor or claim to be or anything like that, but a gallon a day at 128 pounds, obviously you're not going, if you're 128 pounds. The reason why I say 1 ounce per body pound, what if it's a 60 pound child? They're not going to drink 128. They shouldn't be drinking 128. They should be drinking 60 ounces. What if it's a 200 or 300 pound person? Well, their body mass is bigger. They can take more volume. Okay. So that's my,
I'm just thinking of more of the subtle impacts rather than the extreme, if you know what I mean.
Subtle impacts from drinking the water.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And everybody's going to have different impacts. And that's where I ask, when I'm speaking in a crowd and they ask me, hey, Siha, how long does it take before I lose weight? Or how long does it take before I get off my meds? My answer always is, I don't know. You tell me. You know, you drink it, you utilize it, then you tell me. Because other people come and tell me after the first cup, after the first day, after the first week, after the first month, you know, so you tell me. So I never tell people, you got to do this, and this is what's going to happen. You're going to lose 3 pounds per week if you do that. No, it just doesn't happen that way. So yes, everybody's going to benefit from it differently, and their body's going to utilize it and detox differently. You know, some people drink it, and if you've heard, they've either some get diarrhea, or they get fatigue, or they get, you know, well, why is that happening? Well, you're detoxing, you're cleansing the body, and you're going to feel something. You know, so it's not the same experience for everybody. You know, some people can't. I've shared this water where I've had people, even before they drank it, that said, I can't drink that. It's too high of energy. I'm like, excuse me? What do you mean too high of energy? They're saying it vibrates too high of energy, and it was a 9.5. So I told my friend to go get 8.5. So they went, they brought another cup back, and they said, the person said, still way too high of an energy. So I said to my friend, I said, go cut it, do 8.5 half a cup and 7.0 half a cup. They brought it back, and that person said, that's better, I can drink this. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I'm just trying to help somebody, and everybody's different. And that's a case that I had, and how I was able to, take care of that, because they said it was too high of energy, and I didn't understand what that meant. But our water does have electricity. Our water does have negative charge. If the science is beneficial. And to answer your question, Michael, on the science, there's a book that you can get from Amazon, and I'm glad that you asked. This book is written by Dr. Horst Filzer, and it was a study on human beings, 13 human beings in a scientific lab in the USA. And Dr. Horst Filzer is not just any doctor. He's a Harvard-trained vascular surgeon. He invented the stent that goes in your heart 50 years ago, for heart attacks, to open it up. He invented that. When I first met Dr. Filzer, when I started, he was, of course, my idol, because he was so smart. And he introduced me to other surgeons who, that were his friends, that invented the clamps that open the chest cavity when they're doing operation stuff. So not only is he an amazing man, and he knows what he's doing, but he has a reputation. He doesn't need the money. Why is he doing this? He's doing this because he wants to help people in the scientific community and non-scientific community to understand the science of it. And he says, in his studies, when he compared the cell at the cellular level, when he compared the cells of the testes, the mitochondria, which is the engine inside the cell, was absolutely healthier and more vibrant and operating better than if they were drinking other liquids that he had them compared against. There's a great video. There's a great video that he just did maybe 2 months ago on a Zoom call. I helped set it up with my friend Lori Ellis out of California. Lori Ellis is a nutritionist and physical trainer. She was the host on that. I put the two together. She asked all the right questions. He answered it dynamitely, and it's on YouTube. It might not be on YouTube because it first wasn't supposed to, but I think people posted it. I will send that to Lina, or any of you guys. You reach out to me, add me on your Facebook, direct message me. I'll send you the exact link that Dr. Horst Filzer talks about the science on the water. So I'm not a science, again, I can talk this, I can teach this, I can show this, but when I'm speaking to somebody like a doctor or nutritionist or whatever, I don't have to show them all I know. I just say, you know what, the water was researched scientifically using the specific machine, the SD501, which is one of the machines that my company manufactures on human beings in the USA at the cellular level. And here's what he says. I just summarize it. And then, I go from there. If they want more information, I tell them to order the book. I'm not going to give them a book, if they're that serious. But for the most part, I can usually sell, exchange of value and information with just my knowledge. And I'm giving you guys a lot of this because this is the easy way. We don't, you get it for yourself, you read it for yourself, and you don't even need to give it out. I don't give it out. As you can see, it's all, worn out because it's in my backpack, because I just pull it out as a reference piece. So I hope that helped, Michael.
Yeah, that does help. And I don't know if there's no one else who wants to ask a question. I've got 2 questions.
I'm here for you guys. Are you guys liking this? This is good information.
Yes, very good. Thank you. Go ahead, Michael.
One of the questions is obviously, this is not rocket science. It's very clear what is being sold and what is the value of this machine and everything else which comes with it. Why is it that, the various governments don't want to talk about this? They don't want to sell this.
Well,
or they don't even seem to recognize it.
Okay. My short answer, and again, I'm no politician or scientist or anything like that. My short answer, being in the banking world and understanding stocks pretty well, and finance, there's an old adage, and that is follow the money. Follow the money. So who are the biggest corporations? Who are the biggest supporters of politicians around the world? Oil industry, high-tech industry, pharmaceutical industry, banking industry, water, health? No. So my short answer is that governments, they don't make money off of this. They don't. They make money off of selling arms, weapons. They make money selling pharmaceuticals. They make money with, finances, robbing Peter to pay Paul, whatever. I've been there. I mean, I've been in the finance world. I'm so glad that I found this, because like I said, this is an organic business. I get to sleep so good at night knowing that we have a great product, we have a great company, and my clients are healthier today than they were yesterday. I sleep like a baby knowing that I did that. Living in a small town, my community is about 100,000 people. I live in Bellingham, Washington, just north of Seattle. 100,000 people doesn't sound like a lot of people. It's a small community, but I want to hold my head high when I'm walking through the grocery store. I want my children to be proud of, what their parents do, and not, when I say hold your head proud, there's some business people, you see them and they put their head down and they try to get out because they know that, they've done something wrong in the past. Our company's not like that, and our product's not like that.
And then probably my final question was just around, obviously you've been doing this probably north of 14 years. For people who are joining this, what would you say was your biggest challenge, and what would you advise, say probably like 2 or 3 things you would advise newbies who are coming into this not to do?
Okay, so you always give me 2 or 3 questions at the same time. So let's start with the first one. Biggest challenge to me was to get my warm circle, which is my friends and my family, to buy into what I knew. That was my biggest challenge. And it was the biggest like heartache or disappointment when they didn't see it. But I've grown as a person, and I've developed as a person, a better Siha today than I was 14 years ago. And I've learned to accept that I can't help those who don't want to be helped. I can't help those who don't have an open mind. I can't help those who want better for themselves, even if their life depended upon it. So I can't change that. There's some things in life that we can change, and there's other things we can't. So that was the biggest challenge for me. My younger brother is a medical doctor, and he's 6 years younger than myself. And so when I got into this business, and I was doing the presentations, and I was sharing it with my mom at the kitchen table, my mom asked my brother Tula, he's walking back and forth, he's in medical school at this time. He's almost done. I think maybe he might've been done. Walking back and forth, she goes, "So Tula, what do you think of this alkalized water that your brother's telling us about?" And my brother says, "Well, I wasn't here to hear the whole thing, but I heard bits and pieces of it, that it's alkaline, and this and that. And my question to you is, why would you want to alkalize your stomach if the stomach makes hydrochloric acid to break up the food?" So he asked me that in like my second week of doing this, and I was like deer in headlight. My eyes went, oops. I wasn't the doctor. I wasn't the scientist, and I couldn't answer that question. But my answer was, you know what? That's a great question. I don't know the answer, but I'll get it to you. So you're going back to your question. The hardest challenge for me was to get my circle to see what I saw and to know. So the answer to that is, your stomach only makes hydrochloric acid when it's ready to eat. Your body knows when you bring an apple or you go to the fridge, it knows you're going to eat. Your brain knows, all these neurons will kick on. It'll make the hydrochloric acid. It doesn't sit at 2.2, 2.3 pH hydrochloric acid 24 hours a day, only when you eat. Okay, and our alkaline water, it's alkalized with electricity, and not electrically alkalized, ionized, technical word, and not chemically. You can chemically add baking soda or lye, or or what's the one that kills you? Cyanide. You know, that's cyanide is 14, alkaline of 14, that'll kill you. So those are all chemically based. So what we're doing is the alkalized water, it's absorbed in their esophagus even before it hits your stomach. And Dr. Filzer will say this in his videos if you look up some Dr. Filzer's old videos. So
you sort of agree that if you want to kill your idea or your plan, ask the people who are immediate to you.
Yeah. So they were the biggest challenges. I had a friend, this one couple that, you know, we went to college together, we traveled together, we did everything together as a couple, my wife and I, and he and his wife, and they're best friends of ours. And I've shared it with them from the first day that I got in, and it took them like 7 years. It was 7 years before they bought a machine. And that's after me sharing with them, lending the machine, taking it back. And then when they finally bought, I asked them, I said, you know, hey, why did you finally buy after 7 years? And quote unquote, this is what they said. They said, we know that you're a successful businessman. We know that you can sell. We didn't want to be sold. And we didn't know that we wanted to make sure that you're going to last in this business. So they had their own personal things, you see, but it took them 7 years to do that. I've had other people say, well, you sell water. I mean, excuse me, you sell real estate, you sell money. What are you doing selling water? You know, so those were my biggest challenges. And like you said, I learned to accept it. I learned to grow from it. And I got a really good piece of advice that I'm going to share with you guys. Back then when I started to get these rejections, because that was my challenge, like you asked me. And the advice I got, and I forget who it was from, but they said, go 50 miles out of your radius where you live, and you will become the superstar. You will become the expert in your field, because in a 50-mile radius, everybody knows you as who you are. You know, go outside of that. And I did. I traveled and I did demonstrations in different parts of the town, cities, and, you know, all across the country and the world. And that's how I became, you know, my business exploded and I became the expert per se, because I had people who were willing to listen to me. Okay, so that was part of your first question. Those are the challenges, how I got around it. What was your second question and third?
So the second question, just to add on to what you just said, is that where I come from, we say that a good doctor is never recognized in his hometown. You know, people will be talking about that doctor from, you know, like way far, but and in his local area, nobody recognizes him. So you're right. You know, like when you venture outside your territory, it's people probably look at you differently.
Yeah. So that's how I resolved that tough issue. What was your second and third question? And I want to make a request before I answer the second, third question. Before we leave, can I get everybody's on the camera? Because I want us to take pictures with all of us on the screen, and I want us to post it, because again, this is part of your dripping and your promotion, and just to say, hey, I was on a great call with Siha in the USA, or, you know, I learned a lot, whatever it is you want to intrigue your followers or your friends or your family. So that's before we leave. But I want, just because I know we all got to go or whatnot, but whoever has to go next, just raise your hand. Let's take a quick picture before you got to go. But I want to answer Michael's questions. These are great. Are you guys liking the information? Yeah. Okay, good. Michael, next.
Yeah. So it was just around, you know, 3 things which you would recommend for anyone starting this not to do.
3 things I would recommend for anybody starting. One,
to avoid or to avoid. I mean, you having gone through all these and getting to where you are.
Great. Awesome. 1, avoid negative people. Avoid negativity. You know what? When it says, when I go to the doctor, says, you know, what are you allergic to, or what do you have, you know, allergic reaction to, or whatever, I always put negative people, you know. So avoid, because they'll yeah, so they'll pull you down. Yeah, you know, they're dream killers and not dream builders, you know. So that's really why me and Lina connected, is because I even before I met her, you can feel her. You know what I mean? You can feel her love and her spunk, you know, you can feel her spark. And that's what I'm attracted to. I mean, that's what we attract. Like, it's like attracts like. they taught us, opposites attract. No, in a magnet, yes, but in people, it's like attracts like, right? So I would say avoid negative people. That's the first thing that I would do. Two, be so clear. Oh, go. We're talking about things to avoid, right? Avoid negative people. What else? I guess I mean, I'm trying to think of the things that I'm trying to do differently. Michael, off the top of my head, I don't have anything but avoiding negative people, because that's the only thing that can bring me down, or take me out of my game. And so I know it can take me out of my game, so I stay away from that.
I think again, it's more around things which you did, and looking back now, if you did them differently, you probably would have advanced much quicker than the way you did, if you know what I mean.
Okay, so I don't have any regrets, even if I did it wrong. Like for instance, putting it all on one side and going heavy, as they call it, peg leg. That was my biggest regret per se. But if I take the negative and I make the biggest positive out of it. So that was a huge negative. But what's the biggest positive? It's the first thing that I teach. And I carry this around to my teams. And in my cross lines and when I'm doing my trainings. So that's something that I regret. If I could have done it, yeah, sure, obviously. But I don't look back and go, okay, well, I would have done this differently. You know what I mean? I needed to learn. I needed to make those mistakes to be a more effective leader and teacher and mentor to, in the industry, in our Enagic world. So what else would I do differently? That's it. Negative people, not do that. I don't really have anything else, Michael, but I know it's a great question.
That's helpful, and thanks a lot for taking my question.
My pleasure.
So sorry guys for taking a lot of time in asking my questions.
Really, you guys, just really quickly, I took these out. This book is called Riding the Wave. It's you can get it on Amazon. It's written by Jerry Koska, but he goes in, it's like our Bible of Michael, you're asking the questions, how's our product built? How are we compared with the competitors? This is volume number 5, edition number 5. I don't know if he's up to 6, 7, or 8 or whatnot, but you don't have to relearn it. So this is a really good book. Have you guys heard of Robert Wright, Killing Cancer, Not People? I'm not supposed to promote this book. I don't promote this book, meaning to the public. I do to distributors because I want you to understand and learn. Bob Wright is on my team, but he writes about Kangen Water. Bob Wright he's the founder of the American Anti-Cancer Institute here in just south of Seattle. And he just helps all people, kill cancer and not people with natural modalities. And our Kangen Water's in there. But nowadays he's not supposed to put Kangen Water, but he puts alkalized water. But we all know who it is. So literally, I just when I'm dealing with a customer or a client that has challenges, I refer the book where I just refer the what he talks about in the water, the protocol here. It's not me, meaning. It's not me telling you what to do. It's in the book. This in America, it's still freedom of speech, and we can still do that. So wanted to share that with you guys. If you don't know about network marketing and how business works, you got to read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki and the 4 quadrants. I mean, again, we're talking about, there's a lot of new people on the call. Some people have never been in business or self-employed or understand about, freedom, time freedom, and how to get there. Well, again, if you don't have the time, audiobooks on this stuff here. I'm a big believer of high performance habits. How you do something is how you do everything. So this book is by Brandon Burchard, and it's free. So you just go to Brandon Burchard, and it's free to the US. You guys might have to pay for shipping. I know we had to pay for shipping too, but the book is free. But for shipping, it might be a little bit more, I don't know, in the UK, or maybe he has a publisher out there. But Brandon Burchard, look him up online. He's awesome. He's another one of my mentors. But I truly believe high performance habits, how first thing you do, you wake up, all the way through the day, and then before you go to bed, what is it that you're doing, right? The
Thank you,
10X rule by Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone has our Kangen Water machine. You know, he's a motivational speaker, mentor kind for people. A little bit strong for my taste, but again, sometimes I need that kick in the butt. And but just the 10X rule, I love just the basic, just what you get out of that. Everything that you do every day, 10X it, and you'll improve in every single way, shape, and form. Work out 10 times, you know, don't eat 10 times, but you know, but you know what I'm saying? So good habits, 10 extra good habits, and man, it just goes ballistic. This one here was given to me by a good friend. Do you guys know, have you ever heard of Bernard Chan? Singapore.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
6A-6 from Singapore. He gave me this book, you know, Rich People Think by Steve Seibold. And again, it's getting your mindset where it needs to be. And then the last book on my pile that I share with everybody, obviously, is, you know, remember, you got to know about the company and the owner of the company and what the owner, because it starts at the top, whether it be governments, whether it be school, whether it be mom and dad, whether it be, you know, your boss, starts at the top, whether it be your Bible, you know, whatever it is, it starts at the top. So that's it. So Michael, you reminded me to share those things with you. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Any
you.
other questions?
I think Prometheus got just one last question.
Sure. I love it. I can't believe you guys are still here.
I know, right? I know, right?
It's been a really engaging presentation, Siha. Thank you so much
thank you.
for sharing.
Oh,
Yeah, man, like really kept me in the game. And so, you know, I've just recently started working with Lina, and, you know, very fascinated by Kangen and excited by the process. My question to you is to do with filtration, at least here in the UK. So here in the UK, they put a lot of fluoride in the water, and they also put lye. And you know, I don't know how the filtration process works in the Kangen system. Do you recommend getting an additional filter before putting the water into the Kangen machine? What do you think about that?
great question. So what I would recommend is a pre-filter, and Enagic makes the Ultra E pre-filter. They call it Ultra E. I don't know if they have it in Europe. They have it here in the US, but that's a good general. When you're dealing with big municipalities like London or New York or any big municipality, chances are is you just need a what's called a KDF, which is, I forget what the initial stand for, but it's a general filter that pulls out a little bit more of the contaminants and dissolved chemicals and stuff like that. KDF.
KDF. Yeah, I've made a note.
Right. So that's just for a general overall filter for cities. If you are on a well, because I live in a country in an area where there's farmland and a lot of people use the well, or they use the river water, they use the lake water, I would do a 3-stage filter. You know, it's KDF and then different microns of filters to pull out more contaminants. It's called a 3-stage filter. And the third way that I would, so with some clients, their water is so bad that they have to do reverse osmosis, and you know that reverse osmosis all the minerals. So the Kangen water, the Kangen machines can't make Kangen water because there's no minerals to electrolyze. If you don't know that, I just shared that with you. So there's some places where you know, reverse osmosis is required. Like for instance, I have clients that are in Texas, and it's an oil state or an oil refinery area. And so they have a lot of leaching of the gases and of the chemicals and everything else. And you just can't put that through our Kangen water machine. And you can't take crap water and make it good water. You can take good water. You can take okay water and make it good. You can take good and make exceptional, but you can't take crap and make it good. So what I'm sharing with you there, it's crap. You know, it's just like the hotels in LA and some places around the world, but I've only seen it in LA in my travels where it says the water's non-potable, or I've seen it in Mexico as well. Some of my hotels, it says the water is non-potable. You can't, you know, they don't want you to drink it or cook with it, or you can bathe in it, you can brush your teeth in it, but they don't. So those waters, again, our Kangen water machine, they're so chemicalized, you can't just hook them up. You won't get Kangen water, quality water. So it depends where you're at for a filtration system. First thing, like I said, either the Enagic Ultra E, second thing, KDF, third thing, a 3-stage, and the 3 stages so that you can customize. They call it a 3-stage. Basically, it's 3 cartridges, and depending on contaminants that you have, you get the right filters for it. Okay. Now you guys can reach out. You can direct message Ion Faucet, IONFAUCET, ionfaucet.com. They should have an Ion Faucet Facebook page. They are Enagic distributors way back when, but they don't do the business anymore. They opened up a retail store in California. There's 2 locations. They opened up 2 stores that sell filters, that sell all things and everything Enagic accessories, Enagic Kangen water accessories. They're really cool, really nice people, and they know where to look online. Like if we're calling in from the States or calling from the world, in the US, there's a website, or there's a government website that tells you, or individual counties and stuff, what chemicals, what's used in the water, what the water tested out, to the best of the government's ability, right? And so they go off of that and they customize a water filtration for you that will work best with the machine. If you're in Europe or around the world, they'll go online, they'll look at your area and tell you what you need. Here's what I recommend. I don't know what you call it, but a clean plastic container. Like, we go to the doctors and the doctor gives you a clean plastic container to pee in to urinate in so that they can test your urine sample. Well, try to get a clean plastic one like that, go to the doctors or whatever, say, hey, can I get one of those, or buy some, and take a sample of your faucet water, right? Get it tested. And when you get it tested, here locally, what I tell my teammates is to take it to a hot tub store. Hot tub, jacuzzi, whirlpool, call it around the world. And because the hot tub companies, they, here in America, I don't know in your parts of the world, but I'm pretty sure they have a computer where they just put a drop of the water source, and it prints out all the chemicals in that water, because the hot tub company needs to know so that they can sell the right chemicals for the hot tub, right? Well, once you get that printout, then you email that over to Ion Faucet and saying, hey, here's my water quality. How can I get this to the best quality before it goes into my Kangen water machine? They can tell, the gases, the minerals, the acid, the alkaline, just everything. And, that's enough for them to customize something for you. And that's the way that's what I would prefer for you, because not any water source is the same. It's not a one fixed answer. And that is the best way, is to get your water tested, share it with them. They can see the contaminants, and then they can advise. Capiche?
Amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Got cool. Awesome.
I got the 3 stages pre-filters myself.
Yeah, so when we're getting into 3 stages or the 1 stage or whatever, we're just guessing. So, but it's better than nothing. But I want you guys, if you want better than a guess, just go get tested. It's like your blood test, right? For your body. You don't know what's wrong with you until you have to test the actual blood. Are you taking too much vitamin D, vitamin C? You can't take enough because your body doesn't make it. But you can take all these supplements, but is it really good for you? Does your body need it? So you should get a blood test and get it analyzed, get an analysis and see what you're missing, and then customize it.
Wow, well, it's now 9:20 past 9. We've been on Zoom for 2 and then almost.
I'm here for you guys. I'm here for you guys. And
you guys are still here. Wow.
Those are great questions, and they need to be answered. And I want you guys to have this underneath you, underneath your belt, or in your toolbox, because there's an answer, and there's a right answer and a good answer to pretty much anything that's out there. I've been there 14 years. Like I said, I'm not just answering these to gloss them over. I'm answering these because I want you to have the right answer. Whether you're talking to a doctor, a scientist, you have the right answer for them. Because I'm just like you guys. We're constantly being bombarded. They want to take us down. They want to prove us wrong. They want, you know what? Here's the answer. So I love your questions. And it's not like we're gonna have. Yeah.
Can I allow myself a last question?
Sure.
Because we are talking about quality water, and where I live, Lina knows, I don't live in a big city. I live in an island, and the water source, the water supply is from the sea. So we have a salty water. So I would like your insight about it, about the pre-filter. Do you know? Do you have the experience about it?
Yeah. So you have desalination, right? You have a desal?
Yes, exactly. Yes, they have to.
So again, we have to test what after the desal, what is the quality in the public drinking water. So I believe, whereabouts are you?
In Ibiza, it's a Mediterranean island.
So I believe you're in the same situation as my clients and teammates in Dubai. Okay. So we have a corporate office in Dubai. And so what I do know, the desalination process, just like reverse osmosis, they take all of it out, but then they remineralize.
They remineral, yes. Yes,
right?
I checked. Yes.
So it's to the best of it's the best that the city or the country can do for the desalination. If I'm not mistaken, the mineral that they put in will work. When you test this faucet water pH test, is it green? Is it a 7.0 or is it a slightly blue?
It's slightly, I would say slightly between blue and green. Yeah, slightly in between.
So all municipalities are mandated to be around 7, which is the green.
Yeah.
Because they remineralize it, I would presume, I'm assuming that's why it's blue. That's why I said it that way. If you're in like a wet part of the world, like London or Washington State, where I'm at, you know that when it rains, it dilutes the chemicals that the water plant puts in there, the water treatment plant puts in the public water source. So when it rains, they end up putting more chemicals in there to raise the pH because it dilutes it. If they don't, it dilutes it. So when it rains, we're drinking more chemicals. I wanted you to know that if you're living in a rainy area. So I'm trying to share with you, whether you're in Ibiza or in Texas or, in London, it's all different water source. The best way is to find out online if your government or the government of that city or that area has the water quality test results. And mind you, they're not always correct, meaning the government's going to make it as good as they can when they publish it. Okay. I was in the financing business, and here in America, when somebody had a well that they were drinking out of, we as a bank or as a financer, we had to get what's called a water quality test. And I remember, this is before I was in the water business, I remember the water tester saying, Siha, let's wait till it rains, because right now the water tables are low, and so the chemicals show high. And I didn't get it. I said, sure, whatever, because all I wanted was a pass, right? What they meant was, because the properties that I was financing were in farmland, and they had a lot of like raspberry farms and strawberry farms, a lot of the chemical was getting into the groundwater. And so when it hadn't rained, the chemical content parts per million would be a lot higher. So he wanted to wait for it to rain so the water level would go up and the parts per million would go down, and we would qualify. I had no idea this is what we were doing. Honestly, back then I didn't know and I didn't care. All I wanted was a pass so my client could get a house. I didn't understand the health ramifications. And now it's, now I hear that, I see the studies, there's, if you look at cancer, people with cancer that live around farms in the US or anywhere around the world, it's astronomically high. Oh, chemicals. So that's why I share with you guys, whatever water quality you think you have, the best way is to get it tested, research it online, see what they say, and then get that test to a qualified water filtration company that tells you, okay, we need to pull out these tannins, we need to pull out these gases, we need to pull out these chemicals, we need to pull out these minerals, we need to pull out whatever, and these are the filters that'll do it, because there is a science there. If you have a good water filtration company, and their water filtration companies are all around the world. you know, in your area, I'm sure there's some. You just have, just like any business, you have to see if they're reputable, if they know what they're talking about, or they're just trying to sell you something. Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Siha, for your
Awesome.
time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you.
Hey, can everybody turn on your camera? And I
Yeah.
want to take a picture of y'all because I'm going to post y'all. And I want you guys to take pictures of us and post too. 1, 2, 3. Big smile. Yeah, I got it. All right. Oh, I had some other people who just came on.
Yeah. Jenna, Paul, Al, Zoom user, Patia. Can you please turn the camera on?
It's all good. It's all good. So, I want to leave you guys with, you know, we all speak English. So I have a saying here. Remember we talked about my passion, my vision, my goals, and yours. My vision, my passion, my goals is no ills. I wish upon and pray for all of us, no ills, no pills, and no bills. So
No
we all,
bills, no bills. Yeah, very good.
so we all speak English, so that works. I tried to do that for my Romanian and it didn't work. It's training. So yeah, no ills, no pills, and no bills. And that's why we're doing what we're doing.
No
And that's why-
bills, no ill, no ill, no pills, no bills.
Right?
Thank you very much, Siha. I would
Thank you guys.
all of you please unmute yourself and say thank you to Siha.
Yes, this is awesome.
Thank you.
Siha.
Thank
very
you,
much.
Siha.
Let's do it again. I'm here. Facebook me, direct DM me if you need anything. If I can do this for your team, or you know, if you've got a business builder that is doing another business, making $1 million and you want to sign them up and you just need, hey, Siha, can you talk to this person? Hey, yeah, the answer is yes. Here's what I ask you. If you want me to talk to any of your people or help you on a scale of 1 to 10, okay, as if they're going to buy or not, I'll talk to them if you get them to a 7. Okay. So if they're a 1 or 2 or 3, 5, I don't want them. Okay. We have X amount of time, but if you get them to 7, I'll do my best to get them to a 10, which means for them to buy. Okay. With that said, I'm here for you guys. I love you guys. You know, DM me. Let's
Thank
stay
you
in
very
contact.
much. Thank you,
Fabian, thank
Siha.
you, brother. Thank you, Fabian.
Thank you.
Good
Yeah.
to see y'all. And I'll
Thank
see
you,
you.
Siha.
Thank you, Lina.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lina.
Thank you, Lina. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.